there, I'm Dr. Matthew Schulman, board certified plastic surgeon here in New York City, and I'm going to talk to you about one of the most popular and the fastest growing procedures in cosmetic surgery, and that's the Brazilian butt lift. Let's talk about what a Brazilian butt lift is. Basically, this is a procedure where I take fat from the areas you don't want it. So we'll use liposuction. I'll take fat from your belly or from your flanks or from your back or your thighs or your arms or wherever you have fat that you don't want. Then I take that fat, we take it out through a liposuction procedure, we process that fat, and then I re-inject it into the areas you do want it. So most commonly we're injecting it into the butt in order to give you more projection, more of that bubble butt appearance. We can inject into the hips in order to round out your hips and give you more of an hourglass appearance. So that is in essence what the Brazilian butt lift is. You're gonna hear people kind of use different terms for this procedure. Obviously Brazilian butt lift is common, but people have shortened it and will just refer to it as a BBL. So you're gonna hear Brazilian butt lift and you're gonna hear BBL used interchangeably. This is one of the fastest growing procedures in plastic and cosmetic surgery. According to the official statistics, about 28,000 of these procedures were done in 2018. That's about a 19% increase over the previous year. So that is the fastest growing procedure. Let's kind of think about why it's so popular. You have to kind of go way back to the early days where we first encountered celebrity booties. And at least in my mind, I kind of think of J-Lo as being the original person who kind of showed off a round, plump butt. And at the time, people, were like, wow, that's a big butt. It was kind of new for the time. By today's standards, with the Brazilian butt lifts that we do, I kind of look back and say, hey, J-Lo's butt really wouldn't be that big in today's standards. But I think J-Lo at the time kind of started that trend. And then you moved into other people like Beyonce, people like Kim Kardashian. Obviously you have to consider, because Kim Kardashian not only became known for kind of a big round butt, but she took that and then parlayed, her image onto popular television. So you started having reality television featuring Kim Kardashian and her family. So, Kim Kardashian, her kind of big round butt was predominant in the culture. And then that became part of social media. So now if you look on social media, all you're seeing is Instagram models and celebrities showing off their curves. So at least today, as of 2019, big butts or round butts or full figures, the curvy appearance is very popular and very in demand. When I was originally training as a resident in the early days of my plastic surgery career, everybody wanted to be thin. So more of that real thin appearance, that waif appearance. If you think of some of the models, Kate Moss was really popular at the time, and she was known for just a really slender, slim look. And I don't really see that being popular today. At the time, people were coming in for liposuction because they wanted to be slimmer. They wanted to have that appearance, but now people are coming in because they want to be curvier. So that kind of gives you the background and the trend of the Brazilian butt lift. And we've talked about it being the fastest growing procedure in cosmetic surgery today. The procedure is done under general anesthesia. So in my practice, I put you to sleep. So you come to my office, we give you general anesthesia so you're asleep. I do the procedure where I suck out the fat from those areas you don't want it. We put it into the areas you do want it. And depending on how much fat I'm taking out and how much fat I'm putting in and how many areas I really need to do the liposuction on, it could take anywhere between 3 hours and 4 hours. After the procedure, you're going to be in a compression garment that I put on you while you're asleep, and then you'll wake up in my recovery room. In the recovery room, you'll probably stay for about an hour and a half or 2 hours until you feel okay, and then you can go home. Like with any cosmetic surgery procedure, there's a recovery process. So after the procedure, you're gonna notice that your butt and your hips are bigger, but it may not look the way you want it to look. You may feel like the shape isn't right, or my butt's too big, I didn't want it this big, or you may feel like my hips, I feel too wide. That's all normal, and that's part of the healing process. and part of the things you have to understand going into the procedure. So hopefully before the surgery, you and your board certified plastic surgeons have talked about these things, so it's not a surprise to you. After about a few weeks, that swelling will go down, the fat will kind of settle into position, and you'll start to appreciate the shape a little bit more. It can take several months, even up to a full year, to see your final results. And that is because this is essentially a transplant, right? I'm taking fat from parts of your body, it's a living cell. We're taking it out of your body and then putting it back in, and that has to become living again. That process happens by growth of blood vessels. So it takes several weeks and several months for that little fat cell to grow blood vessels and become a living part of you again. So you have to be patient for that, but usually after about 6 months, you really have a good idea of your shape. You know, your butt and your hips are nice and round, your belly or wherever I did the liposuction gets slimmer and thins out because the swelling goes down, and my patients are generally happy at that point with their shape. There's a couple different appearances you can get, and the appearance really just depends on your preference. Some of my patients come in and they want to maintain a really natural look where they just want to give a little bit more roundness to their hips, like fill in some of those little hip dips that people get. They want to give a little bit more roundness to the butt because they feel that maybe their butt deflated or drooped a little bit over the years. So in that case, I would do careful liposuction, and then maybe I'm just putting in a small amount of fat in those really specific areas. Other people will come in and maybe they want to have an athletic look where they have more of a perky round butt. So in that situation, I would put the fat in the back of the butt and give that roundness, that bubble butt appearance. And this would be the type of butt you would see on, popular, fitness or swimsuit models where they're still very slender from the front and the back, but from the side, they have that nice roundness and a real perky bubble butt. The third group of people may come in and really want something much more dramatic. So they may want more of a video vixen look or a really dramatic appearance where there's no doubt that their butt is augmented. So these are the people that will come in and say, snatch my waist, get my waist as small as possible, and make my hips as big as possible because they really want that exaggerated hourglass look. In this situation, I'll obviously take out as much fat as I can take out safely, and then I'll put in as much fat as I can put in safely. I always tell my patients one of two things is going to happen during the procedure. I'm either going to run out of fat or I'm going to run out of room for the fat. So that means if you come in and I suck out as much fat as I can get and maybe I have a few liters of fat to work with, when I start putting it in your butt or your hips, I'm going to fill it up till it just either can't fit anymore, and then the extra fat, if there is any, that will get discarded, or I'm going to fill it up till I have no more fat left. That's what I would do in someone that wants a real dramatic look. Again, the type of result that you get is going to depend on what you want. So make sure you communicate that to your board certified plastic surgeon so that he or she can work with you to get the results that you're happy with. As with any cosmetic procedure, make sure you find someone who's experienced in the procedure. Brazilian butt lifts are very popular, as I said at the beginning, and it's a growing trend, but there are still only a very small percentage of board certified plastic surgeons that specialize in this procedure. For me, for example, I do this routinely. This is one of my most popular procedures, so it's not uncommon for me to do 6 or 8 BBLs per week. I've been doing it since, I don't know, maybe 2007. So I've done about 4,000 Brazilian butt lifts at the time of recording this video. Hopefully this video lives on forever and that number will continue to grow. But as of this date, it's about 4,000 BBLs. There are some doctors out there that do a few BBLs. They may not be as experienced. So you have to find someone who's experienced and is knowledgeable about the procedure, because there's a lot of little nuances and little specific techniques that we will use in order to give you a result that you want and also give you a result that will last your lifetime. The fat that we put in is your own fat. It's nothing artificial. It's completely natural because it's your body. So once those fat cells are in your body, they should be there forever and they should change with you as your body changes. So as you age, And if you gain weight, those fat cells may get a little bit bigger. If you lose weight, those fat cells may get a little bit smaller. But it's a living cell, and it's gonna act just like the fat where it was before you moved it. So if this procedure is done well and done correctly, you should get a result that you're proud of, and that result should last forever and continue to change as your body changes. So that is a not so brief overview of the Brazilian butt lift, or BBL procedure. Hopefully that explains what it is, why it's become so popular, and what type of things and results that you can expect if you get the procedure done. As I said, make sure you find a board certified plastic surgeon experienced in this procedure if it's something you want to have done. And remember, if you like this video and you got some good information from it, click on like, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any useful videos that we're going to be putting up in the future.